Welcome to Off the Shelf with Christine and Katie. This month we are sharing with you some of our can't wait, most anticipated summer book releases. We hope you enjoy these titles and that they help you build up your TBR list as well. Be sure to let us know in the comments if you have any titles on your can't wait list for us to check out as well.
And be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos. But now, let's get to those books.
Okay, why don't you start us off?
Yes. So the book we are first going to talk about is one I'm really excited by because I've read this author since I was a kid. It's The Book of Night by Holly Black, and it is coming out in the month that this video is coming out in June, and it is about Charlie Hall has never found a lock she couldn't pick, a book she couldn't steal, or a bad decision she wouldn't make. But now she's trying to live on the straight and narrow, at least until a shadow mage dies in her bar and her life is thrown into chaos and back into the underworld she tried so hard to leave. Well known for her YA fantasy books, this is Black's first adult fantasy. It hits a mark for spooky thrills and mysterious chills, and I am so excited to read it.
This is what I've been waiting for a year.
I have been waiting for her to finally write adult for so long, and now I get all of my dreams come true. Wait. So I'm really excited. And now your choice?
Next up we have This Time Tomorrow by Emma Straub, and this came out on May 17th. This is kind of a twist on a traditional time travel trope, and it's a different kind of love story as well. In this time-traveling father-daughter love story, 40-year-old Alice wakes up in 1996 as a 16-year-old with her vital, charming father, the single parent she's lost touch with, by her side. With a new perspective on their lives, is there anything she'd change?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun. Oh, it's that whole... If I had my life to live over again, of course this is a pick.
Of course you would.
Wonderful Life.
Yes, exactly. It's a Wonderful Life, as always.
Picks.
It's one of the themes we'll always be reading about.
Absolutely.
And the next one we want to recommend is called The Woman in the Library by Suhari Gentile, and is coming out on June 7th. And I currently have an advanced reader copy. I am 3 chapters in. It is a bit of a slow burn, but I highly recommend it. It is about the ornate reading room at the Boston Public Library is quiet until the tranquility is shattered. Terrified scream, aka my nightmare when working at nights. And security guards immediately take charge, instructing everyone inside to stay quiet until the threat has been identified and contained. While they wait for the all clear, 4 strangers pass the time in conversation and friendships are struck. Each has her own reasons for being in the reading room that morning. It just so happens one of them is the murderer. Dun, dun, dun. And I'm still trying to figure it out, and I haven't yet, but I'm really excited to do so. It gives you a lot of insight to the characters, and they're all very fascinating, so I highly recommend it. And your pick?
Next up, we have Horse by Geraldine Brooks, and that's due out June 14th. Now, I'm a fan of the book Secretariat and Seabiscuit. So I'm really kind of looking forward to this. It's based on the true story of a record-breaking thoroughbred. It weaves together the mid-19th century racing world, 1950s New York, and the present-day DC, where a Smithsonian scientist and a Nigerian-American art historian connect through a horse and its unsung black horseman. And it's one of the sports I actually enjoy following and reading about, so I'm really looking forward to another story about a horse.
Nice. Well, she's written a lot about horses, so.
There we go.
All right, and speaking of a lot of books written about similar topics, the next one we're going to recommend is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, which is coming out on June 21st. And I know there's going to be a lot of holds on this, so get your holds in. But this book is about, it has similar Hitchcock vibes reminiscent of The Rear Window, and is about recently widowed Casey Fletcher has retreated to the peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. Armed with a pair of binoculars and several bottles of liquor, she passes the time watching Tom and Catherine Royce, the glorious couple who live in the house across the lake. When Casey saves Catherine from drowning, he strikes up a friendship, and Casey soon discovers that all is not perfect as the relationship may seem. Then Catherine suddenly vanishes, and Casey becomes consumed with finding out what happened to her. It's mainly psychological suspense with full plot twists as Sager has become known for. And I've read his book Final Girls, and that's all what he's known for. He is never for the mundane and plot twists, so that is something certainly to expect
Survive
from
the Night
him.
was another great one by him. So if you like those kinds of edge of your seat thrills, this would be the one to read for the summer But not in the dark woods, maybe.
Absolutely not, especially if you're not in a cabin in the woods by yourself. We do not recommend that, but otherwise we do.
Exactly. Next up we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and that's coming out July 5th. This is two friends, often in love but never lovers, come together as creative partners in the world of video games design, where success brings them fame, joy, tragedy, duplicity, and ultimately a kind of immortality. Maybe you're not into video games, it doesn't really matter. This is a wonderful love story unlike any other, and I just love that it's a friendship love story.
Yes, which we don't get too often,
No,
so enjoy it when it comes.
Can't wait for that one either.
All right, and the next one is by a popular mystery author. It is called The It Girl by Ruth Ware. It is coming out on July 12th. And it is about April Clark Cliveden, was the girl everyone wanted to be around. On Hannah's first day at Oxford, April is the first person she meets, and she is quickly pulled into the circle. During their first term, they form a group of friends, Will Hugh, Ryan, and Emily, who all became close. And by the end of the second term, April is murdered. A decade later, Hannah and Will are married. Hannah is stunned when she's told the person convicted of April's murder may have been innocent. And determined to figure out what really happened, she revisits her old friends and begins to uncover shocking truths. Sounds really great, actually.
Yes. Okay, so next up we have The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Silva Moreno Garcia, and it's come out July 19th. I love The Island of Dr. Moreau, and I love retellings, and this one is yet another retelling of the story of Dr. Moreau, but this time from the perspective of his daughter, Carlotta, who grows up on a grand estate on the Yucatan Peninsula as her father conducts experiments funded by the wealthy Lizaldes. The estate also serves as home to Montgomery Lawton, Dr. Moreau's hard-drinking assistant, and the many part human, part animal hybrids that result from the doctor's experiments. The arrival of Lizadale's son disrupts everything.
Now, I want to let everyone know that Christine has not stopped talking about this book since she knew it was coming out.
I have actually got my hands on an advanced reader copy. I've started reading the first couple of chapters, and I can't wait to dig in more.
And I get to hear about it a lot more. Surely. Okay, and speaking of other books that we can't wait to come out that we've had advanced readers copies of, is one of my favorite authors. It's the book that is recently coming out is Killers Amidst Killers by Billy Jensen. If anyone has read To Be Gone in the Dark, he can finish that book also after the author unfortunately passed away midway through writing, and it's a really good one. But his newest one is it is about he goes to Columbus, Ohio, where he examines unsolved cases of 18 dead and missing women. It is true crime for those who are into that. It's not for the faint of heart, but he writes really well. And it is about, as we mentioned, the unsolved cases of 18 dead and missing women whom he suspects were the victims of serial killers on the loose and operating under the cover of the opioid epidemic in America's heartland. So no one really knows they are murders because unfortunately they were also in the opioid epidemic that was going through Ohio at the time. So people didn't know they might have been murdered because it was an overdose. So this is him uncovering that, and turns out he was correct. So he goes into that story, and it's a great story.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it when it comes out.
Okay, next up we have The Last Two Vanish by Megan Miranda. Welcome to the Passage Inn, a cozy upscale resort nestled in the North Carolina mountain town of Cutler's Pass. Cutler's Pass is best known for its outdoor offerings and its mysterious history. And as the book begins, the string of unsolved disappearances that has haunted the town is once again thrust into the spotlight when journalist Landon West, who was staying at the inn to investigate these vanishings, disappears himself. Will this town's dark secrets finally be revealed? Almost sounds like a fictional telling of your Killer Amidst Killers.
Pretty much, yeah.
This book comes out July 16th.
All right, and the next one I want to recommend is a mystery called Stay Awake by Megan Golden, and it comes out on August 9th. And it is about Liv Reese, who wakes up in the back of a taxi with no idea or where she is or how she got there. Sounds like a good story, all right. And she's dropped off at her home, and a stranger answers the door, claiming to live in her apartment. Her phone is missing, and in its place is a blood-stained knife. Her hands are covered in scribbled messages that say, "Stay awake." Catching a glimpse of the local news, she sees the same message scrawled into the victim's blood at the crime scene. "What did you do last night?" And to make matters worse, what she learns the last 2 years have gone by, completely lost to her memory. But there's someone who does know exactly what happened, and they'll do anything to make her forget permanently.
That one sounds really good.
Yes, it sounds
Amnesia,
really good.
murder.
It actually sounds just like a Hitchcock movie, but told obviously in novel form, but it sounds really great.
So in case you're tired of all these mysteries, murders, and whatnot, we have a nice little fun romance
for
here.
you.
And it's Love on the Brink by Allie Hazelwood. It's coming out August 23rd. And this is by the author of The Love Hypothesis, and it's a new STEMinist rom-com in which a scientist is forced to work on a project with her nemesis with explosive results. So this particular one is like an avenging purple-haired Jedi bringing balance to the mansplained universe. B lives by a simple code. What would Marie Curie do? If NASA offered her the lead on a neuroengineering project, a little dream come true after years scraping by on the crumbs of academia, Marie would accept without hesitation. Duh. But the mother of modern physics never had to co-lead with Levi Ward. I just recently read The Love Hypothesis. I really enjoyed it. It was an easy read. It was fun. Yes, it has the rom-com elements
with a little bit of nerdiness
and bringing in science, showcasing women in science, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah,
and having that romance on the side. So I'm really looking forward to this one come August to end up my summer with a nice little romance there.
Exactly, so way to do it.
So these are the books that we just can't wait to read or finish reading this summer.
Yes, hopefully we will.
Hopefully, you'll find one or two that you like. If you also like us, like mysteries, thrillers, and whatnot, then stay tuned because next month we are going to delve into some thrillers and possibly have a guest star who absolutely adores the genre as well. Take care, and we'll see you next month.
And happy reading.